Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to talk about Waiting for Godot, Act 2, and it is important situation number 3. Before that, we have done 2. So let's see what it is. It is the boot episode. Australian says, let's see. He removes his boot and looks inside. And Australian then says, there's a man all over for you, blaming on his boots, the falls of his feet. If you see, this situation has two parts. It is the first one. But throughout Act 2, Australian once again struggles with his boots, while Vladimir, Australian and Lucky become involved in a comic exchange of hats, right? Basically, it is the boot and hat business. So we have divided into two, right? First, we will discuss the boot episode and then we'll talk about the hat episode. So the characters repeatedly remove, inspect, exchange, and replace their hats and boots. This sequence occupies a surprisingly large portion of the play, despite having no apparent practical purpose. Let's see the dialogue here. I have talked about it. And then let me tell you about the second part of it too. It is the hat exchange. Vladimir says, give me your hat. The characters repeatedly exchange hats. Australian, your hat. The hat swapping continues in a mechanical and almost clown-like fashion. Right? And now we are going to explain both of them. At first glance, the boot and hat episodes, if you both of them seem completely unimportant. Australian spends time examining his boots, while Vladimir becomes obsessed with hats. Nothing significant is accomplished, and no major plot development occurs. So, why they become important then? However, Beckett deliberately fills the play with such trivial activities. Vladimir and Estragon are waiting for Godot, but since Godot never arrives, they need distractions to pass the time. The boot and hat business provides temporary amusement and prevents them from thinking too deeply about their hopeless situation. The boots are often associated with Estragon's physical concerns. He worries about comfort, pain, hunger, and sleep. The hats, particularly in Vladimir's case, are associated with thought and intellect. Thus, the boot and hat episodes symbolically represent the physical and mental aspects of human existence. Both are important then. The scene is funny on the surface, but beneath the comedy lies a serious truth. People often occupy themselves with meaningless routines to avoid confronting the emptiness, uncertainty, and anxiety of life. Now, let's see what kind of techniques I use here. First technique is, it will be new for you, slapstick comedy. I repeat, slapstick, S-L-A-P-S-T-I-C-K. You'll write it together. Slapstick comedy. What it is a form of physical comedy that involves exaggerated movements, repetitive actions, and visual humor. The repeated, let's see the example, the repeated removal, exchange, and replacement of hats resembles the routines performed by circus clowns. What kind of effect it leaves? The audience laughs at the absurd actions, but the humor also exposes the futility of the characters' lives. They are busy, yet they accomplish nothing. Let it critically observe this technique. Beckett combines comedy and tragedy that makes audience laugh while simultaneously they recognize the sadness beneath the humor. That is painful. So, second technique is common one, that is repetition. We find a repetition of actions. We find there's no action at all, but still here you find a little bit action. Similarly, even phrases are repeated. So in specifically in this business, hat and boot situation, what they do, they remove hats, they exchange hats, they put hat backs on, they remove boots, they examine boots. So what effect? Uh, All these removing and exchanging and putting and examining, what kind of effects they leave? The repetitive actions mirror the repetitive structure of the entire play. Just as the characters repeat these actions, they also repeat the same conversations and continue waiting for Godot every day. Let it critically observe this technique. Repetition becomes a symbol of human existence itself. It suggests that life often consists of recurring routines rather than meaningful progress. Then there's another technique, vaudeville tradition. Vaudeville. Vaudeville tradition. So, what it is? Vaudeville was a popular form of entertainment that features comic sketches, clowns, juggling acts, and physical comedy. Example here, the hat swapping sequence resembles routines performed by famous comic duos such as Laurel and Hardy. If you have watched this comedy, uh, you are one of the best viewers, having good taste of comedy. So here, how it affects the audience sees Vladimir and Estragon almost as stage clowns. They feel them like Laurel and Hardy, or even you can consider uh, Three Stooges. So let it observe it critically. Uh, by using this tradition, Beckett borrows traditional comic techniques but places them within a bleak philosophical drama. It creates the distinctive style of the theater of the absurd, not abstract. Slip of tongue sometimes. So, next technique is symbolism. Boots and hats both are symbolic. First, let's talk about boots. The boots symbolize physical existence, one, bodily suffering, two, and material needs, three. Whereas, if you talk about hats, they symbolize thought, one, consciousness, two, and intellectual activity, three. Now, how they affect the contrast between boots and hats reflects the conflict between body and mind. See how interesting it is. If you observe it critically, in one or two sentences we can use, Strategy is primarily concerned with bodily needs, while Vladimir is more concerned with ideas, memory, and meaning. So these are different techniques which were used here. Now let's talk about themes which are used in this very interesting situation. Number one is meaninglessness. If you see, the characters devote enormous attention to activities that achieve nothing. Uh, we can take example of the hat game that continues for several minutes without producing any result. Beckett suggests that much of human activity may be simply purposeless. How painful it is. The scene reflects the absurdist belief that people often search for meaning in a universe that provides nothing, that is empty. Then second theme is routine. The characters repeat the same actions again and again. Routine gives structure to their lives and helps them endure the endless waiting. If you see it critically, human beings frequently depend on habits and routines to cope with uncertainty and anxiety. Next theme is third one, that is human distraction. The boot and hat business distracts Vladimir and Strajan from thinking about Godot, thinking about death, thinking about loneliness, and thinking about meaninglessness. Meaninglessness. How it is significant. See, people often use entertainment, work, or routine activities to avoid confronting difficult truths. The scene suggests the distraction is one of humanity's primary survival mechanisms. Then we have another theme, and that theme is about time. The characters use these activities to fill empty time, right? They are passing time, they're spending time because they have nothing to do. So if you see time significance here, we see waiting becomes more bearable when attention is focused on trivial tasks. You can bear it. You can transform your attention, or your focus, your attention. So Beckett portrays human beings as constantly searching for ways to escape the burden of time. We also do the same, isn't it? So at the end, I'm going to analyze this situation. Number three, important one. All are important to understand the whole play. So the boot and hat business is one of the finest examples of Beckett's ability to combine comedy with profound philosophical meaning. On the surface, the sequence resembles a clown performance designed merely to entertain. The audience laughs at the ridiculous exchange and repetitive actions. However, beneath the humor lies a serious commentary on human existence. The characters engage in trivial activities because they have nothing else to do. Waiting for Godot leaves them trapped in a state of uncertainty. And the boot and hat routines provide temporary relief from boredom and despair. These actions become substitutes for meaningful purpose. The symbolism of boots and hats deepens the significance of the scene. Boots represent the body and its needs, while hats represent thought and consciousness. Together, this suggests that both physical and intellectual life can become trapped in repetitive patterns. Ultimately, the boot and hat business becomes and demonstrates one of Beckett's central ideas. Human beings often fill their lives with routines, with habits, with distractions, in order to avoid confronting the frightening possibility that existence may have no clear meaning. The scene is therefore both comic entertainment and a profound reflection on the absurdity of the human condition. I hope you have enjoyed it, you have understood it, and if you have any questions, you can ask me, you can inbox me. Thank you for watching.